Welcome back to part two of the Marxist criticism lecture. Sorry, I had to split it up. The recording time is only 15 minutes. So, just last couple ideas. So, what do literary Marxist critics look for? Well, they look for specific aspects of how the socio-economic or socio-political environment dehumanizes, right, characters by attempting to, of course, function in a society that demands work or money. So, why are we greedy? For example, why are characters greedy? What's the meaning behind greed and so forth? How do these environments, force characters to live the capitalistic model, right? That makes it necessary for survival. So what happens? And think of all the different kind of important works that that kind of discuss these kind of aspects. Think of, Les Miserables, right? Think of, every kind of crime novel and crime movie, right? Where, people turn to, Breaking Bad would be a perfect example where normal people turn to a life of crime because of the socioeconomic conditions of healthcare and so forth. And of course, how does the socioeconomic environment corrupt people, right? Especially through greed. How does it create kind of that insatiable quest for capital and power? And then, of course, what are the factors that help preserve the social hierarchy, right? That makes any attempt to rise in station nearly impossible. So, what are the factors? And this is a lovely graph that Marx has put together, right? So, what are the factors that oppress people, right? Because in the Marxist mode, when we look at the social hierarchy of capitalism, what they argue is, of course, the workers are the ones who are being exploited. The workers, of course, make the entire society, right, possible. They are the base that totally recreate and reinforce that superstructure. So, the landowners, of course, at the time, the business owners nowadays, the CEOs and things, right, that aren't in politics, right, they're exploiting workers. The army, the police force are there not to protect the workers, but to protect the interests of the rich, right? And again, think about any kind of comment you've ever heard about, rich people could get away with things, rich people don't need, or they have, but the justice only goes to the rich and so forth. And that's why, right? In terms of a Marxist criticism, that's what they attack with society, especially capitalism. The other kind of ruling elite, and notice the kind of religious figures are always closer to the ruling class. Why? Because religion, in terms of Marxist perspectives, again, the opium of the masses, if you ever heard that kind of quote, religion is one of the major superstructures. And the religion is constantly designed to keep people in line. Of course, to keep the social harmony in place, but also to keep people in line in terms of a Marxist reading. So it's very important to kind of look at how these factors, again, in other areas, we're going to think that religion is going to inspire people. But in terms of Marxist perspectives, they say no, religion is actually used as a tool to suppress and oppress and repress people. And then, of course, the elite, right? They're the ones who, of course, always benefit from everything. So it's kind of just an interesting dynamic when we look at Marxist beliefs and so forth. That's again, going very quickly, into what Marxism is about. But the main kind of ideas are just kind of how a society is structured in terms of economics, and of course, how then does that create social hierarchies, personal identity, and so forth. Obviously, if you have questions, post them to Canvas. We'll, of course, talk a lot about this in class as well. Again, if not, enjoy the rest of the week, and then I'll catch you on Thursday.